Hi, I'm Tanya, and you are watching Dante Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So after Jermall Charlo gets another knockout, he calls out Andrade and Canelo. He says he's ready to fight them both, but he's not going to wait around if they don't get in the ring. Canelo Alvarez, he already made it very clear he doesn't want to fight Andrade. He said it. He said he's not going to fight Andrade. He said he didn't like his style. But remember this, he said the same thing about Billy Joe Saunders about a year or two ago when BJ looked good when he beat David Lemieux. He said he wasn't fighting BJ because he didn't like his style. But now, all of a sudden he likes BJ's style because BJ looked horrible in his last fight. What did I tell you guys in my last video about Canelo versus Andrade Charlo? I said in that video, the only way Canelo is going to fight them is if they look extremely beatable. Not beatable, but extremely beatable. And the fact that Canelo Alvarez has done a complete 180 on what he thinks about now fighting BJ Saunders proves that. So since Canelo Alvarez wants no smoke with the best middleweights in the division, I think it makes sense for Jermall Charlo and Demetrius Andrade to fight for who is the best middleweight in the world. Because Canelo Alvarez, he's already waved the white flag, and so has Gennady Golovkin. You can't be the best if you're scared to get in the ring with the best. And you know, when it comes to Canelo Alvarez, there's no way he can be considered pound for pound, top 3, or even top 5 the best fighter in the world, because he's fighting in 3 weight classes and he's not the best in any of those weight classes. He's not even trying to prove he's the best in any of those weight classes. Now, credit to Canelo, he did fight Golovkin, but just like the NBA and football, that was like 2 seasons ago. And once again, you Canelo fans, you can't talk about, well, who has Charlo fought, et cetera, because even when Charlo knocked out Julian J. Rock Williams at 154, he was still calling out Canelo, and Canelo was still avoiding him. And none of you fans were saying, that's the guy Canelo needs to fight. Look what he just did to that great opponent, Julian J. Rock Williams. Nobody was saying that. Matter of fact, I remember when Jermall Charlo, when he knocked out Julian J. Rock Williams, it was in Carson, in front of a predominant Mexican audience. And when he knocked out Julian J. Rock Williams, that entire crowd went silent. Because all they were thinking about is, this is going to be a tough fight for Canelo Alvarez. That's all they were thinking about. They didn't have no time to be congratulating Jermall Charlo because the first thing they seen was threat alert. I mean, if Canelo Alvarez fans truly believe that Canelo Alvarez is the best, you wouldn't want someone else to beat Jermall first or beat Andrade first. You would want Canelo Alvarez to put both of these undefeated guys on his resume, because we all know there's nothing better than taking someone's oath. But Canelo fans don't want to see that because deep down they feel that Canelo Alvarez might lose to one of them. They're not going to admit that in the comment section because they got to stay loyal to Canelo Alvarez and the cause. But deep down they're praying that Canelo doesn't get in the ring with these guys. And I keep telling these Canelo Alvarez fans, when we as real boxing fans say we want to see these fights, this doesn't mean we automatically think that Charlo is going to win the fight, because I don't know if Charlo will beat Canelo Alvarez, but that's the reason why we want to see it. See, that's not the mentality of a Canelo Alvarez fan. A Canelo Alvarez fan, he would rather Canelo sit on the sidelines while Andrade and Charlo duke it out, while Charlo and Julian J. Rock Williams duke it out. They'd rather Canelo Alvarez not be the best if being the best means you have to go through this wall of fire, Jermall Charlo and Demetrius Andrade, and you may not be successful. Real boxing fans don't do that, no matter who you're rooting for. For example, when Deontay Wilder fights against Tyson Fury, I'm rooting for my country. I'm rooting for Deontay Wilder, even though I know there's a very good chance that Tyson Fury can win that fight. I'm not going to sit here and talk like a Canelo fan and say I don't want to watch the fight and, you know, Deontay Wilder already beat him after that 10-second count. Tyson Fury, he doesn't deserve to fight. Who has he fought before this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Not going to do that. I want to see the fight regardless of who's going to win. Why? Because I want a conclusion. I want to know who the best heavyweight is. So this is the reason why I truly believe Jermall Charlo, he needs to go ahead and he needs to fight Demetrius Andrade. And then we will have an answer. Once again, Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez, they've already dropped out of the tournament. They don't want to be a part of this tournament. So now it's up to Andrade and Jermall Charlo to determine who is the best fighter at 160. I'll say this as well. I really think Jermall should push for the Andrade fight. Andrade should push for the Charlo fight. But I'm going to say it again. These Canelo Alvarez fans keep saying they want to see Charlo versus Andrade. But once again, this is just a distraction. They just want Canelo to be able to stall. Basically what they're saying is, will you guys just leave Canelo Alvarez alone and go fight against each other? I mean, this is almost the same thing that happened at 154. When Canelo was at 154, he didn't even have a belt. Jermall, and Andrade all had belts. Andrade was calling out Canelo Alvarez. He called the man a bitch. He literally called him a bitch, called him out, and Canelo Alvarez did not take on the challenge. He had a shot at Andrade's title, didn't fight him. Soon as Demetrius Andrade gets stripped of that WBO belt and Liam Smith gets that belt, then all of a sudden, Canelo, he fights for the belt. Then when it comes to Jermall Charlo, like I told you guys before, Jermall Charlo, he beats Julian J. Rock Williams. All of this is going on, and Canelo is sitting on the sidelines, fighting Liam Smith and Amir Khan. Canelo was not the best at 154, and he's not the best at 160 right now. This is the reason why Terence Crawford is pound for pound the best fighter in the world. Because Terence Crawford, he was the best in every division he was in. He unified all the belts at 140. And now at 147, he is the most feared fighter in the division. He's doing the complete opposite of what Canelo is doing. See, Terence Crawford, he's going after the Jermall Charlos, the Demetrius Andrades of the welterweight division, if you will. He wants the smoke. Canelo Alvarez is going as far away from the smoke as he can. Sometime as far as 175 pounds. You know, the irony of this all is when I think about this, all of the criticism, the majority of criticism towards Canelo Alvarez right now, it's not even coming from America. It's coming from his own country. Mexican boxing analysts, Mexican former champions like Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., Eric Morales, Marco Antonio Barrera, Juan Manuel Marquez, former trainers, they're the ones that are coming out and saying it's time for us to tell the damn truth. America is damn near protecting Canelo Alvarez. Isn't that kind of odd? His own country is criticizing him while America is kind of quiet about the situation. I mean, we're seeing articles where writers, they will mention Andrade and Charlo's name. They will kind of hint at the fact that Canelo is not willing to fight them. But they're not putting pressure on Canelo like Mexico does. I told you guys before, Canelo was avoiding Edeslani Lara for like 2 years. It wasn't until Lara jumped on the stage and called out Canelo, and to Canelo's surprise, it was Mexican fans from Mexico and Mexican analysts that started to ask Canelo, why aren't you fighting this Cuban? Why won't you fight him? And the pressure finally got to Canelo Alvarez. He could not keep Edeslani Lara a secret, so that's when he decided to fight him. If this pressure would have been put on Canelo to fight the Andrades, the Jermall Charlo in America, then he would have already fought them. It would have been very difficult to avoid him with all that pressure that people would be putting on him. So yeah, if Canelo and Golovkin, if they're not willing to step up, then Demetrius, Andrade, and Charlo, they should definitely face off. And then we will know without a doubt who the best middleweight in the world is. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.